And this, you just got to stand there and hope you're tougher than the other dude.
Blah, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Aha, just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching. And by the way, guys, I just published a book called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to 5 adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very, very special guest who is the number one ranked lightweight for Powerslap, the one and only. Give it up for the one, Robert Trujillo. Woo!
What's up, my dude? Hey, thank you for having me, bro. I'm excited.
Thank you, man. I'm so excited. You don't understand. You out of all the power slap fighters, you were probably the toughest one to reach out. But I'm happy you're here, brother, because I know you're busy touring. You know, you're traveling a lot. You know, I had to call your secretary, and she transferred me to. You know, what I'm saying it was a lot of transfers, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's different plugs.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But look, brother, I want to talk about how we first met. So when basically Vern had like this big fight at Fountain Blue for Power Slap, he invited me, he got me a ticket. He's like, I want you to come. And at the end of the night, right? We go to the what's it called, high roller limit. It's like a little private kind of like VIP where all the celebrities gamble, you know.
Yeah.
And I saw you and with like two other camera people. It looked like they got tired, so they put the camera down. They looked like they were carrying it all day, and you were right there just sitting down, just chilling, and you were talking to Vern. I was like, damn, this is really Robert. He's like right there. That's crazy. And I see you guys chopping it. I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie, fam. I was a little shy to talk to you because I was like, man, he probably tired. You know, he get too many paparazzis. You know, so I was like, I'm just gonna be like this. You know, hoping
Okay.
there could be some magic, but that's all I got. But what about you, fam? What do you remember that night where at the event?
The event was crazy, man. I mean, most of all, what I remember is the crowd, bro. Like I said, we started off in the Apex, and it's a decent sized little crowd there. Then we moved. The first live event I actually competed was I don't remember. I'm all mind bottled right now, but we competed that one. We had a big crowd. So at the Fallen Blue, that was the biggest crowd to date. That was the biggest crowd yet. So I just remember like walking out. I've been doing MMA forever, so I've fought in front of crowds like that, but to like it's a lot more, like intimate with Power Slap because you could just see the crowd. In the cage you kind of just see the cage walls. You can see the crowd, which everything's kind of blurry. From here you could just see the whole crowd. So I remember walking up on that stage, with the people I was coaching, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to do this in front of a crowd like this. So the crowd was freaking amazing to me, bro. I loved it.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up, fam. And I gotta say, man, PowerStop is growing so much. It's getting bigger. I'm really happy that momentum is bringing. Fam, and please, if you could share too, like if you could take us back to your childhood, like where you grew up in, your parents, where they're from, and please, if you have anything that we don't know, if you could spill the beans, maybe not the cheese, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in a small ass town. I still live here. I stay in bigger cities when I'm out in training camps and everything like that. But population here, it's called Raton, New Mexico, a little small town. That's how everyone us here from New Mexico, we got that dog in us. It's just some we got. But population's around like 5,000 people, super small. Um, grew up, like me and all my friends are always just out fucking around doing stupid shit, fighting, doing all this and that, and I just it's kind of weird because I always like had a love for it. I didn't like to fight, which was weird, but I always had a love for like the sport, which is kind of funny because I loved watching like wrestling growing up, and like Stone Cold was like my hero, bro. And then as I got a little older, I realized, I'm like, that's not really that real, but what can I do to get into that, because my mom, she used to take me to like a couple wrestling events here and there when she could, so I got to meet some wrestlers and I held their belts, and I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna hold one of these someday, I'm like, I'm gonna hold one of my own, and fast forward some years, I've won 8 championship titles in mixed martial arts, and soon, hopefully, I'll be winning the first ever 155 title for slap, but yeah, a couple cool things, like I said, I grew up in this small town and they've always had my back too. I actually I have a day named after me here, so I have my own day called Robert Trujillo Day, real deal day. And like I said, little small town, they've always had my back. My parents have always had my back. My mom, she met my stepdad when I was 8, and he's kind of the one who like kind of pushed me to get a little bit tougher. He taught me how to box, and yeah, they've had my back this whole time. They're at every single one of my fights. They've been at every single one of my power slaps. So I've always kind of I've had a pretty good life so far. It's been nice. And then moving forward with slap, I was a contestant of season 1, and now I'm head coach of season 3. So it's just kind of crazy how far this is going.
No, it's wild. It's wild, fam. You definitely it's amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand this man right here that we're talking to is undefeated in MMA. It's not like he just won. He's never been lost. So this is a big deal, you know? And I know he's gonna get that belt. And brother, real quick, so where's your mom from? Like what like is she from a different country? Like what's your like ethnicity, like your roots?
Yeah, so we're just like I said, we're just Hispanic, bro. We're just Hispanic. We all kind of, my grandpa and my grandma, they were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then they kind of just came down here. He's smaller, and yeah, this is where my mom was born too. We were just kind of all from here, like I said. So I got that Hispanic background. I got a little bit of native in me, just a little bit, and it's real tough growing up, bro. That's something I always prided myself on. I I would like wrestle with big people all the time. I'd always just want to do shit like that. And yeah, I don't know. I've had this real tough mentality since I was a kid.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I gotta say, man, you being Latino, I'm very happy, man, because I gotta support my Latino everywhere, So I gotta ask you, fam, you being Latino, what is your favorite? If I have to pick, right, and ask you, who's your top like 5 Latino artists that you cannot stop listening to? Like,
Shit, dude, I can't even think of 5. But I'll tell you, my main artist, bro, and it's funny because I actually walk out to his music is SPM.
oh, okay, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
so yeah, every single fight I have, I walk out to Bloody War by SPM.
Dang. That's wild. That's
Yeah.
wild, brother.
Of course you got like, all the other ones. I like Little Rob too. Little Rob's dope. We grew up on summer nights, so shit like that. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I've been walking out to Bloody War by SPM, like in my MMA fights, my power slap matches, and people ask, like 'cause when it first came out, they're like, well, it's not really, like a fight. And I tell everyone, I'm like, bro, it's like, this is more of a fight than anything, dude. You know what I mean? You're standing up there and you're fucking going to war, like MMA, like I get a lot more nervous for my slap matches than I do for MMA fights. And it's because I train myself, to fully, protect myself, do whatever I can to get that advantage in MMA. And this, you just gotta stand there and hope you're tougher than the other dude.
That's true. That is true, brother. I'm so happy you brought up. I gotta say, Lil Rob, man. Summer nights just sipping around when the sun goes out. Are you ready to
Yes, sir.
party? Yo, that's a classic OG. That's how you know we were making in the radio stations, in the English stations. I was so happy you said that. And brother, it's amazing like everything that's going through, like your life and everything. if you can also share too, like your transition from going from MMA to Power Slap, and who reached out to you? Did you do like a little video, like a TikTok video? It went viral. They're like, "Yo, let's bring him in," or what happened? What happened? Spill it, spill it.
So, dude, I was actually part of the OG group of people, like first ever group they took out to Vegas, like months before they even shot the first ever season. And it's kind of crazy. I just kind of me and one of my buddies from he lives about 20 miles away. We actually used to train MMA together. His name's Travis Aragon. He ended up being he was a 185er for Power Slap for a while. And me and him, we both saw this ad on Facebook, and it was something, he was already out of his MMA game. He was already a little bit older, so it was something he was like, "Oh, I could do this to keep pushing forward." And me, I saw it, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I could go meet Dana White, and hopefully impress him." That was my whole thing about it. So we saw this ad on Facebook, and like and we were part of the OG group, the three years ago, March of 2021. And at first I wasn't too sure about it. I was like, Dana really holding this, like I want to meet Dana. I said, this is why I'm doing it, and he was like more of like the end of his MMA journey, so he's like, this is something I could do to keep going forward. And me, I looked at it as like, oh shit, I could use this, get my foot in the door with Dana to get into the UFC, you know what I mean? And yeah, they took us out to that first ever exhibition. We were all in a group together, all the original 50 some dudes, that they took out there. And it's crazy because I think maybe there was only like 20 of them who went through, and they finally called us about October. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna be like doing tryouts for a TV show. We're gonna be doing a TV show out of this on TBS." And we're like, dude, my whole time I'm like, what the fuck, and like I'm glad I took this risk, because like a lot of my MMA coaches are like, no, we don't want you to do that. They're like, oh, we need to save your head for your fights. You don't want to be taking we don't want you to be taking these just, like unblocked hits. We need to save your head for your fights. And I was just like, I said, honestly, I said, I don't think it's that bad. I said, it's just a slap. I told him, it's just a slap. I don't think it's that bad. And dude, yeah, sure enough, people were getting knocked out left and right, and I'm like, holy shit. So they called us back for the TV show, and like I said, I made it in. I won my match to make it into the first ever episode. I mean, the first ever series of Power Slap. Road to the Title season one. I made it through the whole season, and leading on right after that, it'd been a year since the original start. We had Power Slap one there at the Apex, and I competed actually against the number one ranked 170 contender right now, Joel Scott. And I mean, he's undefeated at 170, and I knocked his ass out. So I now that they're putting together this 155 division on the TV show, I'm like we've been needing this. I'm the smallest guy in the sport, and I said they weren't really giving us too much love at first. I don't think they were thinking that the smaller guys had this kind of power. And I'm like, I think we just hit harder than a lot of the bigger dudes. So they're putting together this 155 division, and it's been awesome. The journey's been awesome. I never expected this much from it, and I'm glad I took the risk whenever I was like, fuck it. I said, we'll try it. I said, I'm gonna do this to meet Dana. And now, like said, it's just blown up since. What I mean? And Dana loves this right now. He loves this more than he does the UFC. Like, he's always talking about it, and he says it's gonna get bigger than the UFC. So it's kind of crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. I think you would be the first, the the chosen one, I would say, to cross over to UFC. I can see it like after your belt when you get it. I can see you being like on the. So Robert, how do you feel winning your title? I'm ready, Dana, for the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see you.
Yes,
I can
sir.
picture it, and I know it's gonna happen, brother. And I gotta say, me being a fan. I love how it's growing and everything. I do want to actually ask you something. So I noticed, looking at your history, you actually trained with Brandon Moreno from the UFC. And I thought that was awesome, brother, because I got to tell you this. I actually met him twice in my life in Vegas. He needed a favor. Your boy hooked him up. I took care of him. And it was a great experience. I got to say, one of the most, out of all the UFC fighters I've met, he's the most humblest, my opinion, when I actually met him. I want to hear your little story too, like meeting him, training. If you could share too.
Yeah, man, like you said, super humble. Like I saw this little dude. He's still 20. He's still 25 at the time. I think he still is 25, but he was just first getting into. That's when he was first getting into the UFC, and he was just crazy strong, crazy fast. And I was like, damn, this dude's a little killer. And I actually met him because my MMA, one of my MMA coaches, his name is Jeremy Kimball. He was in the UFC, so we would go train at the UFC Performance Institute a lot. We would go there. We'd go to Extreme Couture. We'd go to a couple of the gyms there, and I met him actually at the Performance Institute, and I got to train with him a couple times, and he said super humble, super cool, and they invited us to a few of their other little trainings, so we gotta get in like some good amount of sessions with him, and it was like you said, it was awesome. He was an awesome partner, you know what I mean? Because like I said, he's just super fast. He's super fast, and he's always willing to help people. So like he said, he's just super humble. He always, he invited us some of his own training sessions. He helped me with certain things I was working on in my wrestling game. And yeah, he's just super humble dude. And I think it comes with the sport. Most fighters you meet, oh, I tell everyone, if they're like their heart's really in this, they're usually the most humble people you'll meet. You'll meet the few cocky ones and this and that, but most fighters are like the most humble people you ever meet, and it's because we know what it's like. We know we could go get beat up by any single dude. Doesn't matter, like we look tough on the cameras, but in training camps, we're getting our asses kicked by everyone, We're getting ready for this fight, So I think it just helps keep us humble, saying that, we could, even though we're going against to war against these guys, the guys in our gym are beating us up every day to get us ready, So it helps keep us humble, and he was an awesome dude.
Wow. Did you get to feel like his kicks, like when he threw him, or like or like his punch? You're like, oh man, man. I felt that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, dude, he was tough. Well, honestly, dude, that tripped me out the most was how fast his wrestling was. His scrambles, everything like that. Watching him or how strong he was. I remember he was doing one of his strength tests there at the PI, and I think body weight, wise, like percentage. I think he had like some of the strongest scores there at the UFC PI. Based off body weight comparisons. So he was just like you said, he was strong as fuck.
Damn, bro, that's crazy, bro. Yeah, that's wild, brother. I'm so happy, man. And another thing I gotta say, to see two Latino brothers, you know, coming together, right? I think it's nice to show that our community is strong, and we need that, especially in this time where there's a lot of hate. And there's need to be a lot of like peace, and I think that this is what we need. People coming together, connecting, and growing together. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like I said, another one of my homies from Denver too. I mean, he's a Latino and he's making it big too. Brandon Royval, he's one of my homies too, and he's a 25er there in the flyweight division. I think him and Moreno fought. I can't remember who won. I think they fought twice actually, but he's actually one of my homies from Denver. Because I live pretty close to Denver, so I train in Pueblo, Colorado, cross train in Springs, and every once in a while we would go to Denver. So I got all my homies in Denver too. That there's a lot of the Latinos doing it big there too. So it's kind of cool. And yeah, like you said, as like Latinos, we need to show what we got too. And I think it's dope.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Now I got some good news. You're gonna love this. So I actually um have another of your teammates from season 3 for Powerslap. My boy William Shockey. Man, I just had him on the show literally like 2 days ago. And he's like, brother, I saw your interview with Vern Cathy and Isaiah and all the big guys. Cause it's crazy. not to brag, but there's a lot of podcasters out there, but they haven't got as many as I got. I think I beat most of when it comes down to like I'm gonna be real. I've already had five. You're like the seventh. You're about to be the seventh on the show. So I think it's just wild. They're like, man, how did you make it happen? And I said, look, man, I'm gonna be honest. They're so like they're like family, Because honestly, I
Yeah.
first met Vern, and then Vern got me connected to everyone else. Vern Cathy, because they look at him like dad. He's like a father, what I'm saying? Got a lot of knowledge and he's real chill and humble. And yeah, so I'm really happy that I was able to connect with you. I'm happy message back. And brother, I gotta say, it's getting crazy because you picked a good squad. I ain't gonna lie. With Shockey winning, that slap, that KO. What else? I want to ask you, what's your favorite scene so far with season three? Like any favorite scene or moment that you could think of?
Yeah, so one of my most favorite, scenes on the season so far is match between Riley Montoya and Isaac Gunther, because I mean these guys were just going back and forth, whacking each other, and I taken away from Shockey or Bover or McGregor's knockouts, they're all awesome, but we're looking to show the chins in this sport as well. I feel like one of the most important thing is having a good chin, so to watch these guys go back and forth like that, to me, it was awesome, and, the 155 tournament all around, it's been great to see, because this is the first season actually with 155ers on this season. Because I initially went into the show, I was supposed to be 170, but I couldn't put on that much weight. You know what I mean? I was trying, but I fight 135 in MMA, so it was hard for me just to even try to gain that weight. I usually walk around about 155, 160. So trying to put on any extra weight, dude, I was trying and it wasn't working. And so yeah, just all around seeing the 155 tournament in season three so far, it's been dope, and I'm excited to keep watching this division grow. I'm excited for when to see the first ever time they show rankings. They always show the heavyweight rankings, middleweight rankings. There's never a 155, and now they're gonna have that lightweight ranking. So I'm excited for that, dude.
Me too. I can't wait, brother. I hope they do it in Vegas. I know Texas, they already got approved for Powerslap, and Dubai or Saudi Arabia. I think Saudi Arabia. So I really hope they do that last match with you, like getting your belt in Vegas, because I don't want to miss it, and I want to be there like in real life and say like, "Damn, I was there." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, I'm praying it's in Vegas too, bro. Shit, I'm like go celebrate in Vegas after. Have Dana wrap that bell around me there in Vegas, bro. And Vegas, I'm a Raider fan, so hopefully it's there in Vegas. It'll just be awesome if it is. But even I know they're approving a lot more states, so I honestly wouldn't mind where it's at, but my liking would be in Vegas.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Well, look, man, I'm about to wrap it up. Guys, this is the Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat's Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And brother, where can my fans find you?
Oh yeah, so my Instagram, I'm mainly on my Instagram. It's real deal underscore Trujillo.